Hi friends, it's Carly and I'm back again, finally, with another review. So it has been a minute since I had any new toys, but I am really glad to let you guys know that I got an email this morning from two different orders that I had placed, or two different places I had placed orders from, and I've got toys in the mail. So in the coming days, I should be getting a lot of stuff and we'll have a lot more videos. Thank you guys so much for your patience on that. As I said in my live stream last week, I'm sort of in a trough right now. I have lots of pre-orders out, but things just aren't shipping to me, so I'm just having to sort of wait it out because I'm also not having luck in store. But there are toys coming, so there's going to be lots more videos on the way. And a second thing I want to talk about before I do this review is I was recently asked by one of my viewers, a friend, about my toy sale. So I had mentioned a while back that I was going to take some of the loose figures that were not necessarily my favorites or you know, that weren't key pieces to my collection that I had reviewed and post them up on my website to sell for, you know, loose toy prices, $5 or whatever. And I had the intention of, he's wanting to know when I was going to get those up. So I had the intention of getting those up this weekend, and everything got crazy busy, but I had started sorting all of them out to start to get everything aligned. And what I've done, which was really foolish of me, I have an accessories bowl that has literally all of my accessories in it. Hands, weapons, just everything. And I don't want to list a figure without the accessory that it came with. So I'm actually having to like go back through and try to figure out by searching online who goes with what came with whom, who's missing what. I just want to make sure that they're as complete as possible. So it's going to take me a little bit longer, in addition to the fact that work is still crazy and stuff. So I apologize for the delay. I haven't forgotten, but I really kind of like set myself up for a tough one with these. So it'll be a little bit, but I will have those loose figures coming up pretty soon. So thank you for your patience. And with all of that out of the way, we are ready to take a look at my figure of the day, which I was so excited about. The 2020 fan vote, Silk. And the reason I'm so excited and happy about this is that she's what I voted for. So I was really, really excited when she won, and I didn't expect to have her this early for some reason. I guess there was no reason for me to think it would take a long time. I don't think Hasbro indicated that, but I was just really surprised that she came so quickly. So this is our Cindy Moon. And let's just start talking about her. So I rarely ever, as you guys know, talk about the packaging on my action figures just because, first of all, I don't have that much interest in it. When I open packaging, when I'm trying to do a video, it's noisy, things get hung up. I like it to be a little bit more clean as far as handling the figures. But it occurred to me when I was on my way to work this morning, because right before I left, I got the email that my Silk had been delivered to my P.O. box. I thought, oh my gosh, this was the fan vote. I probably should have ordered two so I could have one in the box and have one out. And I was really bummed about that. But I have to say, you guys, they could have done a lot more. This wasn't as, you know, it does say like 2020 fan vote, and it's got some pretty cool artwork on it. I do really like the artwork. And then some interior artwork here. I do like it, but I wish they would have done more. I wish this was more commemorative. I wish it was something a little bit more like exciting. I don't know. You know, as I said, I'm not a huge box person, but if I would have thought in advance about the fact that this is a fan vote figure, I would have ordered two for sure, and I would have been super disappointed because this isn't a box that I think necessarily I would display. So I was kind of bummed about that right off the bat. But I do have to say that I feel like this figure looks really beautiful. So for those of you who don't know, Cindy Moon was in Peter Parker's class, and she actually was bitten by the exact same spider that he was bitten by. But when she got bitten, it almost killed her. And she fought through, and a whole bunch of stuff happens, and she ends up being Silk. So she is Korean American, which is mentioned a lot, and I think it's worthwhile to note that they really did sort of capture her Korean features and skin tone really beautifully on this figure. They did some dry brushing on the hair to give it sort of like that blue-black, low lights and add a little bit of texture to it. So I really appreciate that. And I think that her facial sculpt and, you know, the style, just the look of her face overall is really, really attractive to me. I think she looks really beautiful. She did come with an alternate head too, and that's one with her mask on. And you can get sort of a better look at the beautiful hair. The hair is vinyl as always, but it's a little bit more flexible than normal. So when I'm moving her head around, her hair is sort of moving with it, which is great. But this costume is painted top to bottom with detail. So again, as with all my Marvel Legends, when there's a lot of really beautiful paintwork, I'm hesitant to sort of rub that vinyl up against it because I don't want it to come off. And I think that would definitely happen with Cindy's hair here. This version of the head has her mask like sort of around her neck like that. You can pull it up over her face, but it looks a little strange. And I also don't want to rub the paint off of her face. So I'm just sort of like going with it like this. And I think it looks really cool. I love, love, love the red webbing. If you aren't familiar, Cindy's first suit, she actually spins for herself. So it's kind of unique in that regard. And it's really just striking looking. I was really, really excited to have her. The stories that Cindy is a part of, so she's only been around since about 2014, and her origin story is really fun, but she does like some things with like some Spider-Verse people, and she's in, I don't know, a couple of other groups, and her personal story with her and her family is also really good. But I was just really excited to have her with my, you know, my classic Spider-Man, because, you know, she and Peter Parker have like kind of an interesting relationship. The spider bite sort of unites them together, and they find themselves sort of weirdly drawn to each other, which is funny and awkward and just kind of a cool dynamic with her. There's just so many things that I loved about this character, and I have to say that I think that she looks beautiful. I'm really happy with the sculpts. I'm really happy with the heads. She comes with this hand web accessory, which is just like ones that we've seen in the past, but with her hand painted onto it. And then she comes with 2 extra set of hands. One is a closed fist, like this, a totally closed fist. And then these other ones are like partially closed fists. You could have her holding something, although she doesn't come with an accessory to hold. But so essentially we got 5 additional hands and an additional head as the accessories, which all look really good to me. The design and paintwork on her is really, really beautiful. The contrast with the red webbing and the black webbing is really great. I just think that she's a striking looking figure. But here we are again, you guys. I so didn't want to have anything bad to say about this, but this, it's just like, I'm just burnt out on it at this point. So this figure has 16 points of articulation. The typical Marvel Legends figure that we're getting has 22 points of articulation. Of course, that's like on the small, mid, or I mean, I guess we'll say from mid-frame up in the male figures. That we always know that these smaller female figures, and sometimes the smaller frame male figures aren't going to have as many points, but if you look at this Silk next to Wild Child, the frame is about the same size. We can go ahead and look at him. The bodies are about the same size, and he has butterfly joints. He has a turning waist, which she does not. He has turning biceps, which she does not. I'm just over it, and especially with a fan vote figure that we all asked for that looks really stunning, to not be able to get good articulation is infuriating. And I really just, you know, I don't want to have to talk about it anymore. It's frustrating, and I feel comfortable now that there really is no excuse for it. Look at the size of this body with all of these points of articulation. So he even has 2 additional ones. So he probably has 20, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think that we'll have to count. I'll have to count because the butterfly joints count. Yeah, so that would be 19. We'll have to count more. But he still is far more articulate than Silk, and one of Silk's main features as a part of the Spider-Verse is her agility. You know, she's not as strong as Spider-Man, and she isn't quite as agile as him, but she is way faster than him, and so because of that, she's able to move in ways that he can't, and we're just not getting the articulation that we deserve on a figure that looks this beautiful. So we've got her lateral lift on her arms. The lateral lift on her legs makes me want to throw something. This is it. I mean, it's insulting. At this point, I feel like I'm finally insulted, and I'm rethinking a lot of stuff about my collection because in what world is this an acceptable range of motion for Silk? It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for her bicep not to turn. I've sort of defended that in the past, feeling that it was because it was a smaller figure, but now I've seen smaller figures that do. There's no excuse for it. She should have it. All of the other Marvel Legends figures have it. All of the figures need to have it. So Silk especially should have a turning bicep. She does not. We're missing double jointed elbows as usual. Again, no excuse for that. So this is all we get on her bend on her arm here. That's it. We can't even get her to go all the way up because she's not double jointed, which will affect her ability to do dynamic poses. That would be her primary poses. So that's frustrating. There really, I don't think, could be a lot of sort of, you know, the articulated comic book art. I don't think that you could do that with this figure because she just doesn't move. So we've got the turning in the wrist here, and she does have a bending wrist. Let's see, let's get this clear right here. So that's good. That's flexible the way that it should be. She does not have a turning waist. There's absolutely no excuse for that, especially since the most intricate part of the paintwork is on her abdomen here. So we've got the red web going into the black web with white paint over black. All of the turning in her torso is right here, and I bet you get about 3 or 4 of those before the paint starts to rub off. So I'm not going to demonstrate it because it's built to damage the figure. This is as far as she bends forward, and this is how far she leans back, which is slightly better. But again, we're rubbing all of this paint right here. It's sitting right up against it. So for once, they didn't give us a bunch of negative space, but they did give us beautiful paintwork that I don't want to ruin. So I won't really be making good use of that. You saw the lateral lift, just unacceptable in my opinion. Her thigh turn is fine. Her knees are fine. And then we have the normal great feet that I'm really happy with most of the time, that also lean and rock right to left. So we can get, you know, some good poses from the thighs down. But yeah, for a figure this beautiful, as far as design-wise and execution-wise on the artistic aspect of this figure, I am over the moon. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I think I'm going to take some good photographs of her and write an article about her. I haven't written an article in a minute because I haven't had anything great, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I'm being remiss now not to say that, okay, Hasbro, this is unacceptable. This is a fan favorite. We voted and chose this figure, and the design work is beautiful, but this is not a highly articulate figure. She's not anywhere near as articulate as most of your figures. She's not anywhere near as articulate as she should be, and you have to do better. I feel like you owe us better. When we saw all of the great things that happened at PulseCon, I started to get reinvigorated and excited again. I was really excited about the way that they did that. I thought that event was put together so beautifully and really did serve the fans. There were complaints from people, but there always will be. And I think that overall, Hasbro was really doing the fans a service through that online event. And it gave me hope for what I could, you know, see in the future in the toys that I'm getting. And this is the first thing after that. And now I'm just like, okay, where is the ball dropping? Or do they really not care? Are we never going to see an improvement to this? to make a figure this beautiful in a highly articulate line that doesn't articulate is just unacceptable. To me, this is almost no better than those 5-point of articulation game reverse figures that they put out for little kids. It most certainly doesn't feel like an even $20 figure. I'm really upset about it because she's so pretty. But I will be putting her on my shelf because you guys know I love Spider-Man. And again, I don't want to knock the design and paintwork because it's beautiful, but because she doesn't have a turning waist, you're not going to get to make great use of that without really sort of damaging her. But we got Silk, so at least that's a W on my side. I was really happy to get her. I'm really excited to have her. She's beautiful in my collection, and maybe we'll get something better in the future. Maybe things are coming along. I do feel like the mold on this is a little bit different, the body mold. She has like slightly more prominent abs. Her backside is a little bit more prominent, which, you know, her hips are a little bit wider, so it gives her a little bit, like a slightly more realistic body style. There's no loosey-goosiness in the joints, so I felt like this was I feel like it's from a new mold. Hopefully it's something new, but they've got to get those articulate points in there, and I might just sort of time out on Legends until I start to see real improvements there, because enough time has gone by that you know, talking about the same things over and over again is getting aggravating. So yay to Silk. She is very, very pretty, but we need articulation, and that's all there is to it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As I said, I've got toys in the mail, and when I say that, I've got 2 deliveries coming, each of them with about 4 toys. Some of them are outside. They are all outside of the Marvel Legends the Marvel Legends field. So we're going to be looking at some new things. I do have lots more Marvel Legends coming in. I've got Joe's coming in. So we've got a lot on the burner coming up, and I just thank you guys for your patience. I'm getting them as quick as I can, and as soon as they arrive, I'll make you more videos. I hope you guys are having a great Monday so far, and I will be back as soon as I get a shipment in with another one. Thanks for watching. Bye, friends.